Being brilliant, but anonymous. Perhaps we can all agree being the best kept secret in the world is not good. Do you have some kind of online presence, such as a website, a blog, any kind of social media account, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube? If so, then you do have a personal brand already. But the question is, what does your personal brand say about you to other people? Hello, my name is Nikki. I create videos about product design, UX design, UI design, design research, what's it like to be in tech as a designer. So if this is something that you're interested in, please subscribe. I hope you find my videos valuable and I do appreciate your support. In this video, we are going to cover how and why to build a personal brand as a designer. However, if you clicked on this video and you are not a designer, don't worry. You should also keep watching this video because the methods that I share with you today can be easily applied to any field, to your field as well. So let's get started. Whenever someone visits your social media profile or your website, they form an opinion about you. So for example, when I say, I've been a product design leader for over 10 years now. I worked for startups like MedXnode and big tech giants like Oracle. I consulted for one of the big fours, PwC, as well as for the New Zealand government. With a preface like that, I introduce my personal brand to people. Why to build a personal brand? How personal brand can help you? Personal branding can help you with the followings: starting a freelancing business, winning more clients to your business, selling yourself and your service better, building your reputation in a niche in your industry, landing a new job if you're not happy with your current one, and becoming known for your knowledge. What is not personal branding? Sometimes personal branding has a bad reputation because a lot of people think this is personal branding. People think of personal branding as shouting into the void, shouting about ourselves and about our accomplishments constantly and loudly. And because we don't have a lot of in-person connections nowadays since the pandemic, then we took all of these things online. We use the internet to talk about ourselves. Maybe we tweet about ourselves and we share our work online, like the latest UI design that you created or the latest case study that you made for your portfolio, if it's shareable online. But the point is, whenever we do that, we don't really engage in conversations. We don't really add value to topics. But if you do this strategy and you don't engage with people and if you don't add value to the industry, to conversations, then this strategy only gets you so far. So I am not advocating for this. If it's you, that's okay. I was guilty of this as well. I've been there. I know what it's like. But I would like to encourage you to do a different kind of personal branding, a less shouty kind of personal branding, so that you can add value to the industry, to the conversation. Nowadays, it's really easy to schedule our social media posts and talk about ourselves online, talk about our work, what we do at our actual work in our 9 to 5 and what we do outside of work. If you do have a true passion for design, then you are probably designing outside of your 9 to 5 as well. So when I talk about work, I don't just mean your 9 to 5. I mean everything that is related to your field, to design. All of the little projects that you do outside of work. Because let's be honest, not all of our work can be shared online. If you work for a larger organization, it's very likely that you have an NDA as well, and you cannot talk about your work publicly. But if you're building your personal brand, you want to build your reputation in a niche, so you need to create content. So what is exactly personal branding? I want you to pause this video and have a think. Just a few seconds. I wait. I just wanted you to think about it and make a mental note of that. And I want to show you what Jeff Bezos thinks personal branding is. Personal branding is the thing people say about you when you are not in the room. That is your personal brand. That is your reputation. So expanding on what Jeff says, for me, personal branding is the way I articulate my thoughts, my ability to impact others, maybe with this video, my origin story, how I got to this field, how I got here, and how I share this with you, my beliefs, my worldview, what I stand for, and how I embrace vulnerability when it's needed. I really hope it's clear that personal branding is not about being famous. It's not about fame. Personal branding is building a reputation in a niche. Personal branding is important because it's going to help you differentiate yourself from others, build credibility in the industry, and establish a relationship with your audience. You can form relationships with like-minded people who might be even able to help you get a job. Story time. In 2013, I was exposed to personal branding the very first time. I created a Twitter account in 2010, but I didn't really use it for a few years. But in 2013, when I was just finishing up my postgrad in design, I started tweeting. It was end of 2013 when I was applying for my second design job, still as a fairly inexperienced user experience designer. After being hired, I was told my online presence was a huge differentiator. There were more qualified candidates than me, speaking way better English than I was speaking at the time, but my social media presence made me stand out. I was told my social media showed a true passion for the craft, for design. So my Twitter feed was a differentiator. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I've been building my personal brand since 2013 without even knowing it. And the chance that you do the same is pretty high. If you have an online presence, then you have a personal brand. I want to encourage you to be intentional about building your personal brand if you haven't done it already. So you can see that I only started using Twitter as a link collection. I also used Behance to showcase my design process. I shared things about industry events I attended, like Web Summit in Dublin. I shared some details about my work with MedXnode, the startup I was working with. And then slowly people started following me. So I built up a reputation as someone who shares useful links and resources on web design and web development related topics. Back then, the available resources were way more scarce. Not like nowadays when you go to Figma and you just download one of the Figma community libraries. But you can see right now it was a big deal. So that's how it all started. That's when my relationship with personal branding started. We've all been building our personal brand, whether you know it or not. So why not be intentional about it? I only became intentional about it a couple of years ago. I hope you can see that personal branding is not about being famous. It's not about likes and hearts and retweets and follower count. Not at all. It's about providing value in a niche. It's about lifting other people up in the community, and it's about engaging with your audience. So I want to encourage you to do a more value-driven kind of personal branding from now on. So, how to be intentional about personal branding? And the answer is by crafting your vision statement. Because we can only be successful at building our personal brand if we are intentional about it. I hope we all agree on this. You might wonder, how do we do this? Well, we gotta have a plan. First, you need to know where you're at, then you need to know where you're going, and then you gotta take action. Okay, let's dive deeper into each step. Step number 1, that is your current state analysis. You need to know where you're at. I want you to evaluate your current brand, your online presence, what you project online via social media and in person. I want you to analyze your portfolio. The best thing that you can do is go to a meetup, go to a design meetup, befriend someone, and then ask for feedback. Ask someone, possibly who doesn't know you, who can be your accountability partner when you do this exercise. And you can do this together, even better. So you gotta ask for feedback. What people think about you when they see your portfolio, when they see your online presence. Step number 2 is the vision state. So you need to know where you're going, where you want to be. This is the step when you create your vision statement by being super specific, by being super clear about where you're going, where you want to be. A few tips: be specific, don't try to be everything. Remember of the season of career. You can be anything but not at the same time. I want to give you a few prompts you should think about when crafting your personal branding statement. The most important is, what do you want to be known for? What do you want people to say when they look at your portfolio? What do you want people to say about you when you're not in the room? What do you want to convey through all of your social media channels and in person when you meet people? So you need to be clear on these things. And I want you to specialize, because you gotta be specific. Remember, you cannot be everything. You need to decide what kind of skills you want to showcase online. In product design, we have so many things. We have UX design, visual design, prototyping, design research, illustration, design system, data analysis, coding, sketching, writing, facilitation, presentation skills, web design, brand design, logo design, strategy, etc. So don't just say you are a digital product designer. What kind of product designer are you? Someone who's really strong on the visual side or the UX side? Maybe you're really strong at research. Is there anything else that you want to be known for? You can pick a few skills here. Maybe you are a product designer who's passionate and really good at visual design and also illustrates on the side. Or maybe you want to keep illustration as a hobby, so you need to be specific about this. Okay? And just pick a couple of skills, maximum of 3, that you can showcase online, because nobody's going to believe that you are all of these amazing things, right? Especially when you're just starting out in the field. So, and the skills that you're picking here will be the skills that you showcase online. Those are the things that you will project online. Those things will be your focus areas. And remember, don't try to be everything. You can focus on a few things now, and 6 months later, you can change your vision statement. It can be a little bit different. At this step, I want you to decide what kind of traits you want to project online. What kind of traits you want to project to the world. What kind of designer you want to be. You want to be friendly, unbiased, decisive, easygoing, fun.
Hardworking, punctual, communicative, bubbly, professional, authentic, vulnerable, leader, helpful, witty, smart, decisive, analytic, well-spoken, articulate.
All of these things. Just to give you some ideas. And again, just pick a few. Your vision statement can change over time. And it's okay. I want to show you what my vision statement looked like just a couple of years ago. So this is how it goes. I want to be known as a reliable digital product design leader who specializes in UX design and research at enterprise level projects, who graphic records meetings and illustrates articles with a unique sketchnote style, who is articulate, decisive, and who delivers value to businesses and teams. So just because I am a product designer, it doesn't mean I do every kind of design work. For example, I am not the person who does brand design. I don't design brand identity. I don't design logos. It's not like I cannot do it or I never done it before, because I have. However, this is not something that I would like to focus on. These are not the skills that I want to hone and be better at them. So when you craft your vision statement, that will be unique to you. It will be very specific, and I want to give you a template. In the first line, I want to be known as, that's where you pick your specialty. And in a second line, who specializes in, so you're going to list your skills here. And in the third line, you're going to list your traits and characteristics. So after this video, I want you to come up with your vision statement that will be your guide for your personal branding. And step number 3 is start building your personal brand by taking action. So once you are clear on your vision, you need to decide what and where you're going to create. And you gotta take into account your strength, what you are able to create, because you might have time constraints and skill constraints as well. You gotta think about which platform is the best for you and what consistency looks like. For example, people kept telling me, all of these YouTube gurus that I watched in the past, they kept telling me that I gotta create a video, a long form video every single week. And you know what? I burned myself out. It wasn't sustainable for me. So creating 2 or 3 long form videos in a month, that is consistency for me. I cannot create every single week a long form video. I just don't have the time. So decide what consistency looks like to you and think about sustainability over consistency, because you don't want to burn yourself out. So based on your vision statement, decide which output and platform would work the best and what you're excited about doing for a prolonged period of time. So where should you be creating and working on your personal brand? The short answer is anywhere with an existing audience. One of the biggest mistakes that people make who just start their personal branding journey online is they create a blog, just a blog, nothing else. A blog that is professionally designed by you, organized, and you own it because, yeah, you want to own your own creations, right? But there is a big problem. No one knows your blog exists. Remember our first line, being brilliant and anonymous? Yeah, there are countless of blogs on the internet floating around and nobody knows anything about those blogs. Let's say you write an article and you post it on your blog, but then because you don't have an audience, nobody's reading your work, nobody's going to click on your article, and then you keep doing this for a couple of weeks, maybe for a few months, but then nobody's coming to your blog. It is disheartening, it's discouraging, it's disappointing. So most people just give up because people need validation. People need encouragement that, oh, this is actually interesting. People are engaging with my work, right? But if you just create a blog, that's not going to happen. You invest a lot of time into creating a blog, but then most people give up because nobody's coming to the blog. So people don't really see the point keeping up with the blog. See, the thing is, Google search is massive. And when you start a new blog, Google won't serve your blog to people because there is no proof that people should care about your work. It's simple as that. But if you create in social platforms, your content will be served up to an audience who's interested in a topic that you're interested in. So it doesn't matter how many followers you can have 0 followers, 0 subscribers. The algorithms will notice when people engage with your content. And if they do, they serve your content up to more people and more people and more people. So this is how social media algorithms work. Let's just stay on this article example. The other mistakes that people make is they just share their article on social media. For example, I write an article on Medium and I post a link to my Medium article on Twitter. What do you think? How many people am I able to convince to read my article on Medium? 0. Yeah, that's right. It's close to 0. What's wrong with simply sharing your Medium article on Twitter? What's wrong with that? When I share my Medium article on Twitter, I essentially invite my Twitter audience to leave Twitter and come join me in a completely different platform. Are they going to do it? No. A very, very tiny amount might, but it's really hard. It's exceptionally hard to convince people to leave the platform and join me in a different one. So create natively. So if you have a Medium article, then break it down. Create a Twitter thread based on that article. So you have these bite-sized little nuggets as tweets and they form a thread. And in the end, as a last tweet, you can say something like, by the way, this is a Twitter form of my Medium article, which you can read here, and then you insert the Medium link there. There is a better strategy people will be aware of you are writing on Medium as well. So creating natively is always a good idea. I would encourage you to do that. The truth is, starting a blog and not creating on social media at all is the biggest mistake people who want to build a personal brand can make. It's a recipe for failure. So I want to encourage you to create in social environment. But of course, I am not encouraging you to do a mindless content creation. Not at all. Choose your poison. You gotta decide on the type of content that you're really good at or what you want to create. Is it a written content, audio content, video or visual content? And then you have a lot of choices. For written content, there is Twitter, Quora, Medium, LinkedIn, Substack, Mastodon. You can start your own newsletter once you have an audience. For audio, you can start a podcast, or you can have these faceless videos if you don't want to show your face. You just want to add your voice to a video. However, be aware that audio is the hardest thing to be discovered on. So, because there is no discoverability function right now for a podcast. So don't get discouraged if you pick this form, okay? For video, you have many options. TikTok is, of course, really easy that you can repurpose as Facebook or Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. You can add the videos to Pinterest as well. And for visual content, again, you have multiple options. Instagram is still a thing, Pinterest. A lot of tweets nowadays do better with an added visual. You can start doing that as well. And what I see nowadays is LinkedIn as kind of a new visual platform. So a lot of people, especially in design, a lot of people share their work on LinkedIn and they have really, really good engagement. So you can try that. The most important thing is pick a format that shows your strength. So for example, if you are super uncomfortable on camera, don't create videos, okay? Pick something that comes easy for you and something that you are excited about every time when you want to create. So pick that format. You don't need to follow the crowd and whatever everyone is doing. You don't need to do YouTube if that's really not something that you're comfortable about, okay? And the other thing is, whatever you create, you post on all of these social platforms, but have a backup, because one of the downsides of creating a social platform is you do not own the content. Have everything backed up. I have everything, all of my videos, all of my articles saved. If YouTube just goes down tomorrow, I can just start it again like this, and I can post all of my videos on a different platform if I needed to. You might have heard the term creator economy before, right? This video is not about encouraging you to be a full-time content creator, because it's not for everybody. However, if this is something that interests you, it could be just an additional thing that you do. Why create? In today's job market, applying for a job with your resume and portfolio is no longer enough. We are entering the era of AI. So differentiating yourself from the rest of the people who apply for the same job is even more important than before. And the best way to stand out is to craft a personal brand around your name. I don't encourage you to impress other people. I want to encourage you to create so that you have a long-term employability status. If you will be in this workforce in the next 5 to 10 years, then you gotta do something. You gotta create. I don't advocate for obsessive content creation. We all know the negative effect of social media usage nowadays, and how terrible it could be on people's mental health. So I do not advocate for that at all, okay? I want to be very clear on that. But all of these AI-powered tools that are coming to the market, you gotta be ready. And somehow you gotta show that you are different from the rest of the people who are applying for the same position. I'm telling you, this is the way. Crafting a strong personal brand is the way. As things are looking now, and just think about where AI will be in 5 years' time, you gotta be ready. A great portfolio and resume just not gonna cut it. No. So if these two things are not convincing, then, you can just create for fun. When you create, you also grow professionally. You will be a better design practitioner. You will grow in your ability to share your knowledge, to pass information on to other people. It is an exceptional learning opportunity that most companies, like if you work a 9 to 5, most companies don't provide. So you gotta make it fun for yourself. So create your personal brand so that when you leave the room, people will talk about your articles, your videos, your podcast. It's more fun than gossiping about you behind your back. I'm sure we heard all of these people. in the office at some point, right? Just to share my personal thought on this, I create videos, I write articles because I really enjoy it. This is one of my favorite quotes: when one teaches, two learn. I cannot even tell you all of the opportunities I receive because people saw what I do online. And besides helping others and providing value in the design community, what I really love about creating online is the learning aspect. How much I learn while I script a video, how much I learn when I collect all of my thoughts and knowledge and do some research on a certain topic, so then I can create an article or a video and I can pass this information onto you. I create because it grows me. It grows me as a practitioner. It makes me a better communicator, a better speaker, a better writer. And you know, not to brag, but for me, getting a new position is fairly easy. And I believe this is why it is easier for me than for others, because all the things I do online, I am different from the rest of the design leaders. Of course, there are some design leaders who also create content, but I don't compete with them. I compete with most people who apply for design jobs. They don't have that kind of online presence that I have. It is a huge differentiator, I tell you that much. So in today's job market, personal branding is essential, not only for designers, but for everyone. It helps you stand out in a competitive market. You can attract more freelancing clients and opportunities, and it can help you land a new job, a better job. Who you portray online, what you convey online through your social media and your online presence could be a wow factor. It could be a wow or a wow. So you gotta be very careful. I hope you heard the difference. But you gotta be very careful how you are perceived online. That's why crafting a vision statement can guide you and can help you with that. So whenever you're in doubt, it's like, shall I post this comment to someone, let's say on a tweet? If you're in doubt, go back to your vision statement. If it corresponds with your vision statement, yes, post it. If it doesn't, then just drop it. Remember that the internet is forever. Whatever you do online, it stays there forever. Be careful. So decide what you want to be known for. Craft your vision statement. Pick a format and start small. So start creating. Just start. I really hope you find this video helpful and you learned something from it. This video is the YouTube version of a talk that I recently did at a UX meetup in Toronto, Canada. This was my very first public speaking event to 100 people. I think it was over 100 people. So I really enjoyed that and I wanted to bring this to you to share this with more people. I really hope you find this video helpful and valuable. If you have any questions, as always, just leave a comment in the comment section or you can always send me an email. Thank you for watching and I see you next time. Bye.